Hi everyone, it's Kathy Colaiacovo with pepperitmarketing.com, and today we're going to walk through how you can optimize your image files before uploading them to your website. I had a blog post and we talked about why you want to optimize your image files, and there are two main reasons. A lot of it has to do with server space and how much time it takes to load on your website as well. So it's really important that you figure out how to change the size of images that you'll be using on your website. And a lot of times you have to remember we're using images that maybe we took with our phones or with a camera or even stock images. And I'm going to show you what a couple of those look like size-wise before you upload them to your website. So I've got a picture here. We're just going to pretend that I'm going to use one of these. It's one I took with my iPhone. And I'm going to right click on the image just to show you the size of it. So I'm going to go to the properties, and you can see this is a 2.04 megabyte picture, which is 2,144,522 bytes. Okay, the size of the picture shows up here, the dimensions. Actually, that was the size that we talked about earlier, the 2.04. The dimensions are 3264 by 2448 pixels. So it's a very large size picture when you consider the majority of the time a website picture you probably want to be maybe 600 pixels wide. So not only is it large in dimension, but it's large in the size as well. So we're going to use this image as a sample one that I would use for one that I'm going to optimize before putting in my blog. So let's just assume I'm doing a blog that has something to do with my coffee cups and what I'm going to talk about in them. So that's the image we're going to use. So as I mentioned in my article, I like to use Canva to resize these. And I use Canva for a lot of my online marketing images. So you'll see here, this is a lot of images that I have from my program that I use in Canva. So we're going to go ahead and create a new image. So we're going to hit create a design. And one thing that you may actually want to check, I typically create them as a blog title, okay? But there is a way that you can go to your website and find out, how much optimal space do you have here? And you may want to talk to your web designer as well, because one thing that happens with blogs, for a lot of websites, especially if they're done with a WordPress site, you have what they call the featured image here. So this image is what was in the blog article, but it's also the featured image that goes down on the feed of the blog. And your web designer should know what the optimal size is for that. So you may want to be creating them for that size as well. It just depends on how big you want them to show up in your blog or on your website page. So one way you can figure this out, I do this in Chrome. There may be other ways to get into it, but I'm just going to quickly show you here in Chrome. So I go to the blog and I go to the space where I would like to see, how big is this when we're looking at it in size of, the dimension size that we've got here for this space in my blog area. So I want to know how many pixels wide I have to work with. So I right click on my mouse and I come to inspect. So you hit inspect and it brings up some developer tools that are here. And I don't want you to freak out or anything. It's just, it's just bringing this information up. So it's a bunch of code. You can just really ignore it because I'm going to show you how to figure this out. So what you want to do is you want to select an element to inspect it. So you click on this button here and then you hover over the area where you'd like to see how big that space might be. And so you can see here when I hover into the blog article, it says 714 by 89.6. Okay, now if I wanted to go look down here, I can see the title in that whole space. It's 714 by 86. If I'm looking at just that title, it's a little less because it doesn't go all the way across. So this will tell you how wide of a space you have in your blog or website for the size image you need. So you may want to work with a different size. It just depends on how you're going to deal with this and what you're going to be putting up on the website. So for now, I'm just going to go in, and what I typically make is these blog title ones that are resized. When I look at the size here, it's 560 by 315. So it works for me in a lot of different ways, and that's what I'm going to do. So now what I want to do is go and upload that image that of the coffee cups that I had there. So I'm going to go grab that. Now I have to figure out where it is in my computer. I've got it on my portable drive. Sorry, I wanted to show you a specific photo, so I'm just going in to get this one here. So we've got that coffee cup one. So I'm going to take that image and I'm going to upload it into the image files that I have here in Canva. And then what I'm going to do with that, you could use, like you could go in and do a layout. We're not really going to do this. I'm not really picking anything that I want to put with this or anything right now. I'm just doing it something simple. You could go grab your templates that you're going to use for it. That's not what this lesson is about, but you could do that. And so in this case, I want to use maybe this coffee mug in this picture. So it's going to go on the back. I'm actually going to show you. We're going to just do a blank layout here. I'm going to hit undo. That's why I like the undo button. So I'm just going to go back and grab the coffee cup. So I'm going to put this where you can see it. Typically, I would probably add some words to it or do something different with it. This is just a quick lesson on size files, so I want you to understand how this can make a change in it. So now I have I'm going to name this coffee cups, and I'm going to download this picture now that has been created at the 560 by 316, I think it was, pixels. So I want to show you what the difference is once we download it here. So I'm going to save it in this folder, and then I'm going to pull the image back up and look at it in the folder so I can show you this difference now. So here's the picture. When I right-click and go look at the properties now, you can see it's now down to a size of 298 kilobytes, so way down from 2.144 million, I think it was, to 305,000. And the size is now, the dimensions of it are 560 by 315 pixels. So it's reduced a lot. Now it's ready to go in and upload to your website. And of course, you will want to make sure that you've got a good coffee, not coffee, well, you always want a lot of coffee, but you want to have a good keyword-rich title on that as well, which I did in another lesson that you can find on my blog as well, if you want to dig into how to optimize the actual file before you put it in there. So that's how you would go in and change the size and dimension of an image that, say, you took with your phone or that you bought from a stock company as well, and reduce it so that you get it to a really good space that will fit better on your website and doesn't require a lot of load time. And the reason I like to do it in Canva is because it comes with so many of those simple and easy designs that you can create. And if you want to change them up, I mean, I can go in and I can resize that if I wanted to. So that's why I like using it in Canva. It's not very technical. It's very simple to follow. Lots of templates, lots of different things in there. And it's really why it's my favorite way of optimizing and creating images like this. I do have a Canva training program that I offer students. You can learn more about that on my website. It's pepperatmarketing.com/Canva-training. And you can find it on my website under the online marketing training. So it's in there on the training side of it as well. So if you're looking to take your Canva knowledge a little farther, do more with your images, help improve your blogs, your website function and the load time on it by optimizing your images ahead of time, I would highly recommend you take this training program. It is one that we delve into a lot more than this kind of information that I'm sharing with you today, giving you some background on using images so you understand it a bit more. We talk a lot about color content, how to get creative with it, and then how to use Canva to make all of those images. So hopefully this video will help you understand a little better in how you can optimize your image files before you upload them to your website. Make sure you do that so that you end up creating a much better experience for visitors that come to your site, and that in turn will help you do more with your website as well. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. It's Kathy Colaiacovo with pepperatmarketing.com.